Portland is many cities. A city of progressive, forward-thinking values, seen by many as a model for the nation. A city of natural beauty and vibrant public spaces. A community that treasures individuality and freedom of expression. But for many local children enslaved by human trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation, Portland looks very different. They don't see a city where dreams can come true. They see a place of nightmares they are forced to live out every day.
It's really difficult to know that there's a girl, probably more than one right now, being raped in a hotel room.
These are young children. They're being sold for sex. They're in this community, and the men buying them are in this community.
I don't think that people truly understand the scope of this problem and what it really involves.
There are hundreds of young kids in Portland who are sex trafficked on the streets, both boys and girls.
Every one of us in the city of Portland play a role in this happening or not happening.
I think there are a myriad of reasons why. Some of them are location between Seattle and larger cities in California, along the I-5 corridor and I-84, a large airport.
Adult-oriented businesses, the strip clubs, the massage parlors, all those types of different places that are out there.
By law, you cannot have a minor in your club, but there's a high probability that you have minors in the back room. That's how many can be introduced.
You drive up and down 82nd, you see the motels everywhere. It's being allowed in those motels. It's being allowed in the lingerie parlors.
And there's a level of acceptance for adult prostitution and trafficking that really creates the environment in which the child exploitation can occur.
This is about the degradation of another human being for the satisfaction of the consumer.
We all need to stand up and decide whether or not this is the community that we want to live in, is a community where children are raped in hotel rooms for money. The traffickers that we're seeing, particularly in Portland, are definitely gang-affiliated pimps. These are guys who are criminals, and they're out to make money, and they don't care who they exploit or who they damage.
Sex trafficking is a hard case to investigate. It's a hard case to prosecute, and unfortunately, it is hugely profitable.
These gangsters that were before selling drugs to make their money, they're now selling women.
The only thing that motivates them, it's a dollar, it's money. And no matter how much they tell them they love them, no matter what kind of relationship they have with these victims, it is all about money. And if they don't bring home enough money, then consequences happen.
Sometimes the girls think that their pimp loves them. Sometimes they're scared to death of their pimp because their pimp beats them.
Once it comes down to a point where they're being forced to do something and people are threatening their lives or their families, or, there's really not a choice. If you have a daughter and someone says, okay, if you don't go do this, you're never gonna see your daughter again. What kind of a choice is there?
These kids think that they are worthless, and they do deserve it, and it will kill their family if they were to find out about it. And they don't understand how much we all want to help them and how much we view this as an accountability issue for those who abuse them.
There are men that look like me that are paying money to have sex with your daughter. And why is that allowed? Why do they get away with that?
The Johns are everybody you can imagine, from homeless individuals to doctors, attorneys, priests.
Cops to security guards to teachers to professors at colleges. It's everybody. It's everywhere.
Pornography is everywhere. It's on smartphones, it's on your iPad, it's on your cable. And so men can get very hooked into the sexual addiction with that.
2/3 are married, 2/3 have children.
They could be my neighbor, my kid's soccer coach, and their lives seem to go on virtually uninterrupted while these lives of these young women and girls are being absolutely decimated.
When I do presentations around this issue to community groups like a Rotary Club or a church group, the first question that will always be asked by somebody is, where are they from? Every single kid that we have seen lives within 30 miles of where we're sitting right here.
And then the assumption is made, it's here, but it must be a very specific population of children that are at risk. And it's not.
They don't simply come from other people's families.
Our kids go to their school, they go to church with us, they live across the street.
We want to believe that it's either somebody else's kids, not in our backyard, or we want to believe that there was something about this particular girl that made her somehow flawed in a way that separates her from us and our children, so that it really isn't our problem.
Half of them are under age 15 consistently, and 12 to 14 is the prime age of recruitment for pimps. We've seen 2 girls as young as age 11 in the shelter, one of them who started in the sex trade at age 8.
They are looking for a need they have, which is love.
You could have a child that's growing up in a household where there are all sorts of resources except the attention of a parent.
They are always searching for something, they're always searching for love or care or, someone to pay attention to them or tell them that they're pretty.
And pimps are acutely skilled at identifying with children where they're most hungry for fulfillment, and they know how to make those promises, and that's how children are lured in.
There are men who truly have been educated as to what they're a part of.
I already knew what I did was wrong, but I would say that it's way more enforced now, especially seeing what the victims go through. I had no idea that it was that bad.
For the longest time, I just thought it was something that was okay and everybody does it. It's not.
Sex can be just as addictive as any substance. There are some men out there who can't stop.
A week from now, I could happen to stumble upon something again, see something I like, and be right back into it. So I'm going to think about what she's going through. Hopefully that'll keep me straight.
I'm the advocate on call. Can I help you?
Everyone is good at something. So, if you have something that you're good at, there's a way that you can help.
If people want to just join different fundraising events, do it. If you want to join a church and start a human trafficking ministry within that, do it.
We can educate ourselves, and we can look for ways that we can use the gifts that we have to be used.
The first step, I think, is just really noticing the kids that you have in your life, that you see, falling through the cracks. Talk to her parents, try to intervene.
I've heard way too many people say, I don't want to get involved in their business, but, get involved in their business. Like, you could be saving someone.
A parent can really be huge in, which way a kid is gonna go.
Even if it's just Judy coming home from school one day, Mom just made Judy. Next time you want to go to Lloyd Center with Betty, and a guy walks up to you, and he's telling you how beautiful you are, what are you gonna say?
Making people aware and educating them and holding men accountable, whether it's Johns or traffickers for this, is extremely important.
Until us men as fathers and us men as leaders and us men as men take it upon ourselves to say that isn't okay. Until we take charge of that issue, it is not going to change.
Well, men in our culture, we've got to come together and realize that this is exploitation. If they didn't pay for this, if they didn't demand it, with pornography, the prostitution, the sex trafficking particularly, wouldn't happen.
On a personal level, it is just below the baseline of how human beings should treat each other.
It makes me angry in a lot of ways that, I've seen some precious young girls, and to think that someone would use them and abuse them.
So I have 6 daughters. And we see 1,000 kids a year come into our homeless youth system. And I feel like I'm a professional supposed to be watching out for kids. And this happened while I'm in the driver's seat. and we have to get people to accept it happened on our watch. That means we got to fix it on our watch.
Right now in Portland, hundreds of young women, girls, and boys are waiting. Waiting for understanding, justice, a way out. Waiting for all of us to stop looking away. Our children are waiting. How long they wait is up to us. For immediate help or information 24 hours a day, contact the National Human Trafficking Resource Center to report suspected trafficking incidents. Contact the Portland Police.
Cardinal sings to the morning as I am waiting for the light. He says the darkest hours come just before the dawn is visible on the horizon.